Hi, this is Rob with SafeNet AT, and today we're installing the Luna client to establish a connection between a Windows PC and a Luna SA HSM appliance. The most recent client is 549. Inside the 549 distribution, you'll see several folders. The firmware folder includes firmware for G5, PCI, and PED. The Linux folder includes 32 and 64-bit installs for Linux. The SNMP folder includes the MIBs if you use SNMP to monitor the HSM, and then the Windows 64-bit install. Now we select which components to install. For this installation, I'm going to select all of the Luna SA components. This includes the CSP and KSP for certificate services, JSP and JCProv for Java, and the SDK, which provides some software development support. If we were using a PCI, we would select the same options for that. Luna G5, again, all the same options. Remote PED we'll go ahead and install, since I'm using a PED in this installation. And remote backup I won't be using, so I'm not selecting that. You'll notice an error message that can be ignored. The HDL service is not configured, so it's not able to start. In the SafeNet Luna client directory that was created during install, we have several subdirectories and a lot of utilities that we'll be using. The first directory is the cert directory. This includes folders for the client and the server certificates. We will generate a client certificate on this machine, and we'll copy the server certificate over from the Luna SA appliance. The CSP folder is for older Microsoft certificate services. HTL folder includes utilities to support the HTL function. JCProv and JSP are folders used for Java. KSP is the CNG, the next generation Microsoft certificate services. The remote PED driver includes the driver necessary to support remote PED. In this particular instance, I am using a PED authenticated appliance, and I'll be using remote PED, so I'm going to go ahead and install the remote PED driver. The samples folder includes some samples for developers to use. The Win32 folder includes the necessary tools to develop code that supports Windows 32-bit applications. Okay, for the next step, we need to open up a command prompt and change into the directory where the Luna client was installed. VTL is the main configuration tool we'll be using. I'll open up the client cert folder on the left-hand window so you can see when we create the certificate. We create the certificate by typing the command vtl.exe create cert-in for the common name and then using the IP address. You can see the private key and public key were created in the client directory. Another useful tool is vtl.exe support info. This creates a text file with a lot of useful information for debugging. This includes an output of the Christokey configuration file. You can see here where the configuration file was updated to point to the keys that we created. The C support info text file also includes the client certificate. This can be useful for troubleshooting any issues with certificates. In the main directory, we have ckdemo. ckdemo won't often be used by clients, but it can be useful for actually logging into the appliance and looking for a list of objects, getting a list of the mechanisms that are supported, things like that. CMU is a certificate management utility used in certain instances where you're dealing with certificates. The LunaCM is another tool that can be used for configuring some of the options in the client. We won't be using that in this demo. Multitoken 2 is a utility that does crypto operations. You can specify which operations, what key size, what slots to run against, etc. The PED server utility starts and stops the PED server service so that you can use remote PED to authenticate to an SA. The distribution includes PuTTY to SSH into the appliance and PSCP to securely copy files to and from the appliance. SA Login is a specialized tool used to assign application IDs to certain applications so that multiple applications can use the same session against a remote HSM. And VTL, which is the main configuration utility we'll be using in this demo. From this directory, since we opened the command prompt as administrator, we can also start the PED server here, using the command pedserver.exe-mode start. And then to stop the service, we issue -mode stop. That's it for this video showing the basic client installation.